The Grand Academy of Intergalactic Forces prided itself on two things: diversity and discipline. Species from across 17 galactic arms trained together, learning to become the finest military officers the Alliance had ever seen. Most races had physical advantages over humans: greater strength, naturally armored skin, enhanced senses. But humans had earned their place through tenacity and adaptability. Lisa Jones stood at perfect attention, her academy uniform pressed crisp despite the sweltering heat of Training Dome 7. At 19 standard years, she was the youngest human ever accepted to the elite officer program. Around her, 27 alien cadets from various worlds maintained the same rigid posture as General Krav paced before them. The general was Tarian, nearly 8 feet tall with blue-gray skin that resembled polished stone and 4 powerful arms that could crush durasteel. His species had conquered 3 systems before reluctantly joining the Alliance, and their warrior heritage made them natural military leaders. Krav's reputation for brutality and training was legendary. "The battlefield cares nothing for your comfort," he bellowed, his secondary arms clasped behind his back while his primary arms gestured dramatically. "When your lungs burn and your muscles fail, that is when you must fight hardest." His yellow eyes scanned the formation, lingering deliberately on the human. The Tarians had voted against human inclusion in the Alliance, considering them too fragile, too emotional, and too unpredictable. Lisa felt the general's gaze but maintained her focus, staring straight ahead. Her acceptance to the academy had been controversial. Many believed humans lacked the physical capabilities required for command positions. Her presence was a political compromise that most senior officers resented, especially Krav. "Today we test your hand-to-hand combat instincts," the general announced. "No planned moves, no choreographed responses, pure reaction." His lips curled into what passed for a Taurian smile. "I will attack each of you without warning throughout this session. Your response will determine your future at this academy." The training proceeded with tactical discussions and basic drills. One by one, Krav lunged at unsuspecting cadets. Most responded adequately, blocking, countering, or at least maintaining their balance. The general offered gruff praise or cutting criticism after each surprise attack. Lisa knew her turn would come. The question was when. 2 hours into training, while demonstrating a defensive position with her back to the general, she felt the displacement of air behind her. Instinct took over before conscious thought could form. In one fluid motion, Lisa pivoted on her heel, ducking below the general's sweeping arm. Her right hand shot up, grabbed his wrist, and twisted it using his own momentum against him. The leverage technique was called small circle control in Earth martial arts, perfect for redirecting a stronger opponent's force. A collective gasp echoed through the dome as the mighty general found his arm locked in the grip of a human half his size. Physical pain was rare for Taurians, whose nerve endings were significantly less sensitive than humans. The look of shock on Krav's face showed this was an unfamiliar sensation. Time seemed to freeze. Protocol stated clearly that attacking a superior officer, even defensively, was grounds for immediate expulsion. Yet the general had explicitly ordered them to respond to his attacks. Lisa maintained the wrist lock for precisely 2 seconds before releasing it and stepping back to attention. Her face betrayed nothing, though her heart hammered against her ribs. "What combat system is that?" Krav demanded, rotating his wrist with newfound respect. "Aikido, sir. Earth martial art based on redirecting force rather than meeting it directly." The general studied her. "You did not attempt to strike me." "No, sir. The objective in Aikido is to neutralize the threat with minimal harm to either party." Something changed in Krav's expression, not softening exactly, but a recalibration. "Continue." The exercise, Cadet Jones. That evening, Lisa sat alone in the dining hall. Most alien cadets kept their distance from humans, unsure how to interact with a species so physically different yet somehow granted equal status. The wrist twist was impressive, came a deep voice. General Krav set his tray opposite hers. The dining hall fell silent. "Thank you, sir." The Alliance believes humans have potential despite your obvious physical limitations. I disagreed. He studied her with those unsettling yellow eyes. Perhaps I was hasty in my judgment. May I speak freely, sir? Krav nodded once. Humans learned long ago that victory doesn't always go to the strongest. When outmatched, we adapt. We study our opponents and find leverage, physical or otherwise, like using an opponent's momentum against them. Exactly, sir. Krav leaned forward. The Taurian Empire conquered worlds through overwhelming force. We never needed to adapt. Until you met the Dwarven Coalition, Lisa said, referencing the conflict that had eventually forced the Taurians to join the Alliance. A rumble that might have been a chuckle escaped the general. You've studied your history. Yes, the Dwarvens. Physically weaker, but strategically brilliant. Every species has strengths, sir. Recognizing them is what makes the Alliance function. And what do humans bring to this alliance, Cadet Jones? Lisa met his gaze without hesitation. Perspective, sir. We see patterns others miss. We turn disadvantages into advantages. We're uncomfortable with the status quo. Like twisting a general's wrist when protocol says you shouldn't. The general ordered us to react naturally, sir. This time Krav definitely chuckled. Tomorrow you will demonstrate this Aikido to the class. Yes, sir. As the general rose to leave, he paused. The Alliance faces an enemy that cannot be defeated. Through strength alone. Perhaps human perspective is precisely what we need. After he departed, the dining hall erupted in murmurs. A Meridian cadet slid onto the bench across from Lisa. How did you know he wouldn't break your arm for that move? He asked. Lisa allowed herself a small smile. I didn't. But standing there and taking a hit wasn't an option either. News of the human cadet who had turned a Taurian general's attack against him spread throughout the academy. By morning, the story had grown to mythic proportions. Lisa knew her path wouldn't be easier. In many ways, the spotlight would make it harder. But a door had opened. Sometimes, all humanity needed was a chance to show what they could do. A twisted wrist had just provided that opportunity.